Now for a little discussion about the Canyon Country Summer Bash. Let me welcome Richard Cardenas, one of our board members, and the older brother of Tony Cardenas. Give him a big hand.
If and when I ever do introduce my brother, I always say he's the baby of the family. So I'm telling you, he's number 11. We were 11 kids. And the brains and the height and the good looks went to number 11, I must say. I cannot lie. That is actually what the invite looked like. I don't know what magazine, but Al was able to get that. I found it after the fact. I ended up going to the Summer Bash, and I'll tell you how, in the Canyon Country magazine. That's the cover. That's the one I found it in after I stumbled across this thing. And the reason I'm talking tonight is because it was the boys' night out. My grandson, 2 years old, my son and myself went to the movies. And I'm not embarrassed to say we went and saw the Minion movie. Great movie. You too? Great. Thank you. I need that support. Anyway, because we were out that night, I ended up walking out of the theater, and unbeknownst, because I must say the city of Santa Clarita does a disservice to advertising something like this for Canyon Country, or anywhere, in my opinion. Because I did not know it was there until we walked out. My grandson hears the music, and he starts dancing. So we went over there. And lo and behold, we walked into the Summer Bash. It's held on the, and I was talking, there was a couple booths. It was held, and I talked to the gals at the library. There was a library booth there. And I said, how was this advertised? Do you know? Because I just walked over here after the movies. He says, well, it was in this and that, and we do it. It's the last Friday of July. That's what was held last year and this year. So it must be the second year, I think, that they put this on. And this year there was no sand. And if I'm, by that, I think there was, that's what, all these slides are last year's. And the inflatables this year, they had a Kraken-themed dual slide. It looks like some green, yellow, monstrous-looking thing. Not that red slide there. And there was a couple of bands playing, and they were there from 6 to 10 p.m., and they had a couple of booths, actually food trucks. And being that they're catered to the young, get a load of the titles of some of these food trucks. And it's not my language, it's what was on the food truck. Baby's Badass Burgers. The Cousin Maine Lobster, which my son tells me is a great place. There's one in Beverly Hills. Good lobster food and sandwiches and what have you. And then there was a Taintamite and Recess truck. I think that was the truck that had the $7 hot dogs. There was just a plain hot dog. A fellow walked up to me. I thought he was selling me a hot dog. You see this? I said, we're getting the lobster thing here. He says, you see this? I paid $7 for this. I could have gone over here to McDonald's. Because the affair is held on Luther Drive, which is between the McDonald's and what I walked out, the Edwards Theater. And that was the three trucks that were there. And it was also had a beer garden this time. And this time, the Canyon Country Route 66 Classic Grill was hosting that. So there was alcoholic beverages for the adults. So lo and behold, it was a nice affair. But I must say, I stumbled across it. How many here in the room knew that was happening before? I see a lot of heads going this way. July 24th. Here, who here knew? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands out of the rest of us. Again, I did not know. I stumbled across it. My grandson had a great time because he liked the music. There were some bands playing in the background towards the end of the cul-de-sac. But it was rather nice. There was tables and chairs and the food trucks, the beer garden. And it was rather nice, but at the same time, I must say, this is where I got the information that I'm telling you now. And what I liked was the shark bronc kind of a ride. The kids, there was a long line. There was long lines for all these. These were all inflatables. They did have the shark. And there was no sand because in talking to Al, the crew that came and dropped the sand to remove it took them forever. So guess what, folks? I don't think we're going to see sand on the street of Luther again because the cleanup was horrific and we paid for it, I think. Anyway, that is my take on it. And all I can say is the city of Santa Clarita, if they're going to do something, they need to, one word, advertise. Because we'll go. I went because it was a boys' night out. So with that, I'll turn the meeting over back to Al. So thank you.